Right, so we are back outside, and it is just about stopped raining for a bit. Twingo is looking nice and clean, but it still has a hesitation when accelerating. Still not figured out, and more worryingly, you may notice it is sort of sagging a bit on this front corner. It's not hugely noticeable. If I do, that's what, 3 fingers between the top of the tyre and the wheel arch. There's 4 on this side. So something is afoot that we need to try and figure out. So I think we shall jack it up, take the wheels off and have a little closer look. Right, get these off again. Right, get them off. And now those are done. I've got myself a new jack, because the bottle jack was a pain. So this comes in a nice carry case, can lift the car, and does it a lot easier. One thing about the Twingo is the chassis is phenomenally stiff. Like jacking this up right at the front here. This back wheel is nearly coming off the ground too. Right, let's see if this crunches the oh, that was so much easier. Right, time to take the rest of that wheel off. Right, so that's the wheel off. This is still spinning fairly freely. Still feels like it could be more free. And I did look at these when I took the wheel off, and if I can get it to focus, it does look okay. However, I have just put my hand in there, and I mean, it's not clearly shattered or anything. I just turn the light on. I don't think that's supposed to be stuck up there like that. This is a sharp edge. So that's a spring that snapped. Well, pretty sure that's an MOT failure. So now, what do we do? This side, this clearly has a new bottom wishbone, I guess. This shock absorber has seen better days. Do I just get a spare one and change the entire arm assembly? Possibly. Or do I just go straight for coilovers, which is a bit of a risk considering we haven't got this MOT'd. Let's have a look at the other side just to check. Just in case Renault ship with a shattered spring on both sides. Let's have a look inside. So this what am I going to call it? This shock absorber has definitely been replaced. Compare this one to that one. So, pretty sure whenever I've had this happen on a previous car, you're supposed to repair or replace both of them together. So that's clearly not happened. And now we're in a situation where, again, this looks fine from here. Oh look, it's sitting flat in the bottom of there. Compared to there's your problem right there. And because this is a French car, they make it really easy, like genuinely easy, to get to the top of the suspension mounts on one side, because the other side is in there somewhere. I don't know if you can see the cap under there. And to get to that, you need to take the wiper blades off. You need to undo this entire top section of the scuttle panel, the entire underside of it, and then you can get to the top. So, good job. One other thing I noticed is this, which I'm going to call the bottom wishbone, even if it's not the bottom wishbone. This is definitely newer than everything else around it, and it's the same on both sides. So both of these have been replaced at one point, and this shock absorber, and maybe that spring, probably the shock absorber and spring together. I did get some paperwork with the car that showed a really old service, maybe an MOT failure, and if it is actually showing these things, then it will appear on screen now. And if it hasn't, then it's not going to. So I obviously don't have a spare shock absorber to hand. So I think it's probably worth changing both of the front shocks and springs, and probably getting better ones. And they're just a bolt-on part. So undo these bolts, undo all these cables to get everything on there. And then fanny around with however you undo this bit. So you put an Allen key in here and a ring spanner on there. What's really interesting is when this is not on the ground, this sits really high up, so that's probably not good either. So maybe a new one of them as well. Now I realise I'm just pointing at everything with a screwdriver, but it's got some play in it. There's an acorn I missed. I also said in a previous video that I'd probably change all of this to see whether just because this is all cracked, and this is like 60 quid for a spare one off eBay, and I might as well just get a cheap induction kit, a silicone hose, and it can literally replace all of this cable tied nonsense. These sensors aren't actually in this, so that's, we start here. Air intake is this thing. So what I'll probably do is, because race car will have some holes drilled in the bonnet, then I'll put airflow in here, which at the moment goes down this tube, round the back there, into this canister, hits this back wall, gets sucked back through the air filter, out the top, into the throttle body. And I'm pretty sure that's not sealed, so I'm wondering whether that's causing the hesitation. But to test, I'm going to take this off give it a go. I'm not expecting it to fix it, and it's very silly to do this. Okay, so we've whapped that off, and I'm not a mechanic, but this is after the air filter, so this probably shouldn't look like this. Can get the camera here too. There's the throttle body. That's I'm going to say that's oil, so maybe that's from the EGR. Let's hope this has an EGR. It's just crudded it up. I'll jam my phone in here somewhere. We can then see whether it still has this hesitation. It's probably going to be very loud. Right, let's see what happens. Now, looking back at that video in the bright sunshine, I couldn't see the valve at all. It's clearly making a bit of a noise, but I think you could hear on there the hesitation that it has. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to wipe all this gunge out, and then if I can clean up that video so you can actually see it, then we'll put it in again. I don't think it's this. I don't expect it to have immediately gone away. So Twingos are notorious for leaking, so they leak through here, and then it leaks onto the spark plugs, which I've changed, but it also leaks onto the coil pack, so we'll change that as well. Right. Come on, camera. Giving that a bit of a clean out. Having done that is definitely wasn't oil or anything like that, which is good. It was definitely carbon and moisture. Moisture's probably not good, but either way, it came out very well. Definitely think getting shot of all that will be a good idea. But for now, we're going to put that back on there because I'm not going to do any more today. And I'll probably just give the bolts and the suspension a good hugger, see how they go. So we've got the 19mm one out. No, let me. Well, that's done something. I'm going to have to take the brake caliper off to do that one. As you can see here, this is spinning at least. Try and do a mid-camera change of hands. Well, they freed up fine. I was worried they were going to be rusted solid, so I still don't know whether to piecemeal replace it in case it goes for an MOT and it is completely beyond repair on something else, or do we just place one with the OEM part? Thank you, motorbike. Do we just replace the spring? That's the cheapest thing. But then if I'm going to get coilovers or lowering springs, it doesn't matter. It's a waste of money. I think we need to go to eBay.